Hello, and welcome to the Stories of Woe. I am your host, Thessalmere. Thank you for joining our story this fine evening, night, morning. Today, we will be talking about a story called Honest Manor. Honest Manor is a creepy old abandoned hospital. A group of kids gathered out front. Oliver looks at his friends and takes point. He does not believe in ghosts. A few other kids from school also came to see if Honest actually existed. Oliver was told this tale. If you go to Honest Tower and cast a special ritual to summon her before the clock hits 12, you have to run and hide. If she finds you, she will ask you a question. You have to answer honestly, or she will kill you, Damien had said to him. Damien was a rotten teenager who loved making kids' lives a living hell, and Oliver's brother hanged out with him. Oliver had looked back, rolling his eyes, as he saw that his friends haven't even came up to the manor, let alone anyone for that matter. He could see that the door was already open. So he pushed it open and shouted, "Ollie ollie oxen free!" No movement or noises at all. Oliver groaned. "It's clear! Come on, you cowards!" He walks up inside of the manor, going for the staircase and up them. Taking these stairs will take him to the tower part of the manor. He walks casually with his hands in his hoodie pockets. He can hear the hushed voices of all the kids coming inside. It was 11 p.m., plenty of time to locate the correct tower. The hospital was still completely decorated. The presentation of the lobby looked cozy with a fireplace, paintings, rugs, and bookshelves, and of course a hard wooden desk where a nurse sat to let in or out any visitors. The upstairs was even decorated with more paintings, and oddly, suits of knight's armor lining some of the corners, and a huge clock hovered like a chandelier in the center of it all. Oliver leans on the hardwood railing, watching everybody come in. He then calls to his friends, "Come up here, the tower is going to be over here." They follow him, and so does the rest of the crowd. Some kids check rooms already, attempting to find a good hiding spot. Oliver quickly finds the correct tower. There is already plenty of supplies laying around, from previous trespassers who came just out of sheer curiosity, if this is true. "Okay, this is the place," Oliver says. He looks at his watch to see the time. He begins the ritual. The other kids are shocked. He is so easygoing.
Isn't he creeped out by any of this?
Some kids would say. He ignored them because he thinks this is stupid. He has a sneaking suspicion that Damien might actually come and see if he had the guts to come here in the first place. Maybe even prank them. The ritual is easy. He sits in the salt ring someone already made, light 4 candles, and say, "Honest, we dare you to come and play until the break of day." Now, with the remaining minutes, everyone runs and hides before 12 strikes, and then the game will begin. And at the break of day, the game will end. Kids squeeze themselves in cabinets, cupboards, closets, and other creative places. He and his friends wanted to stick together. They find a room with lots of modern things in it.
Is that an Xbox?
Lisa pointed at a beanie bag, too. This place seemed like a good place as any to hide. Oliver helped Lisa get to a top shelf in the closet. She also covered herself up with blankets.
"How do I look?"
she asked. "Invisible," Oliver answered. He saw Tony hide in a small TV stand cabinet. He was surprised he could fit, as his friend Tony was very tall in comparison to him. Oliver was very short for his age, but used it to his advantage. He closes Lisa in her closet, and he decides to hide underneath the beanbag. He has to be careful here. He could suffocate, so he needs to peek out occasionally to breathe. The bag feels damp. Oliver cringes when he sees some bugs flee from the bag, but he hides there anyway. He looks at his watch. It is 3 minutes before game time starts. He tells his friends this, and they both say,
Okay.
They go quiet and try to sleep the time away. Oliver considers changing spaces so he could try and sleep, but he stays put. So far, no movement. Oliver rolls his eyes again, just thinking on how stupid this all is. Soon, someone can be heard running in the hallway.
Someone must be still trying to find a hiding place,
Oliver thought. The footfalls, he could tell, were barefoot, which struck him odd. Thud, 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 thud. Each footfall rang. It could be heard sneaking when entering a room. Is someone seeking? Oliver thought. Someone didn't get the memo. Then he can barely hear a girl say,
I found you. Tell me what you are most afraid of.
She asks. He can hear a scared whimper. Spiders? He hears a boy say. She sighs with disappointment.
You're supposed to be honest,
she says. Then gurgling and choking can be heard. Oliver's eyes widen. Did he just hear someone die? Was this somehow real? No way. There was no way. Then he hears a thump as a body hits the ground. Oliver was very worried now. What if there was an actual psycho running around? He wondered if Lisa and Tony heard what he had, but they would stay stock still. Thud, 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 thud. She can be heard. The floor is now creaking. She has entered their room. A compartment slides open and Tony gasps in horror. Tony's been found, and a girl's voice says,
I found you. Tell me your greatest shame.
Tony squeaks. Oliver peeks out of his hiding spot to see. There is a girl wearing vintage-looking clothes. Her dress looks like it used to be white, but the dress is red, covered in the blood of dishonest people. Tony finally says, I say that I've stopped wetting the bed, but the truth is, I still do. I'm too ashamed to tell my parents after they told me how proud they were of me finally being able to control my bladder. She smiles.
You're a real baby.
She laughs maniacally. When she stops, she then says,
But I suppose you can go if you can find the exit.
She says in a sing-songy voice, in a mocking tone.
If you can't find it, and if I find you again, I'll kill you.
She giggles and checks the closet. She does not see Lisa and checks the rest of the room. When she finds no one else, she leaves the room. Tony begins to crawl out of his hiding spot. Oliver does too. He gets up and runs to the window. He can get to the glass part and open it, but the shutters don't budge. Tony helps Lisa down. We have to find a way out of here, he whispers to the others. Oliver checks out the door, and Honest doesn't seem to be around. Thankfully, Honest doesn't seem to be a camper. It's time to bolt for the front door. They notice that all the shutters are closed. They weren't before. They run for the lobby and try the door.
It's not budging,
Lisa says, while wiggling the doorknob and pushing her weight against it. Then they change tactics. Maybe the back door was open. They all hurry, running for any exit that could be open. Tony sees a window to bail from, as he can see the moonlight outside. "This way, guys!" They run for it, but suddenly the window closes. They try it, and it won't move. "This isn't fair!" Tony had shouted.
"Shh! Be quiet. She's cheating by changing the exit. That means the exit could be on the max level. If we were to attempt to jump from that height, we could die."
She was right. Oliver takes a fire axe. He wasn't sure why, but he took it. They ran for the back door, as planned, despite knowing it's pointless. There are screams from other children from a good distance away. They run and run. They didn't want to be caught.
If we get caught, we need to take Honest's attention away from Tony. So, Oliver and I need to distract her,
Lisa planned. "And then what?" Oliver asked. She wasn't sure. "It's just to delay Tony's death." They make it to the back door. It's locked. They take a moment of silent panic, but Oliver sees the wall is weak and has a hole in it. "Tony, take this and break through the wall." He does so. "Okay, now we wait. Protect Tony like you said. If she is going to cheat by moving the door, we'll make our own way out," Oliver said.
"I hear someone cheating,"
they heard Honest shout from upstairs. Tony started hacking at the wall, even harder. They saw her running at them. She was very angry. Lisa jumped in front of her. She growled at Lisa, but asked her,
"I found you. Now tell me your deepest embarrassment."
Lisa holds her there for a while Tony hacks away. She knows she can't delay her for very long. Then says,
"My deepest embarrassment. I was in PE running track."
Her cheeks flush, just thinking about it. But she continues,
"While I was running, one of the girls pointed out my shorts. They laughed at me. My period had started for the very first time. I ran to the bathroom in tears."
She holds her cheeks, her face flushed fully red, knowing that her friends just heard her say all of that. Honest laughed at her too. Then Tony says, "I'm almost through." Honest tries to stop him, but Oliver jumps in front of her just in time. She screams at him, and Tony says, "I'm through. You first, Lisa." Honest was livid.
"I found you. Tell me your darkest secret."
Oliver froze. He waited for his friends to crawl out before saying anything. He speaks very softly, in a whisper, to Honest, and finally says, with a very serious face, he stares her down with very cold, dead eyes, "I went on a camping trip with my brother and his best friend, Damien, with his father as well. It was going to be an easy trip, they said. Going fishing, see the sights, you know how it is. So there the four of us were, telling scary stories around a campfire. My brother stayed with his best friend's father, cleaning up the site, while Damien and I went out to go find some firewood. Little did I know of what was going to happen that night. We had some small conversations here and there, nothing too serious. And, for whatever reason, out of nowhere, Damien attacked me. He hit me really hard in the back of the head with a piece of wood, while Damien took advantage of me while I was unconscious. But, let's not forget, I need to be honest. I wasn't unconscious. I died in that damn forest. Do you really believe for a moment that you're the only one? People who die in this world don't stay dead. We come back seeking revenge on those who kill us. Goes the same for you, Honest. You want revenge too. That's why you're still here. The only difference is, I'm not a slave to my location. I wander freely in the open world, unlike you, who can't even leave this stupid manor to even gain any ounce of hope of revenge. I can exact mine at any moment if I want. So why haven't I, you may wonder, if I kill Damien now, my brother's best friend, I will vanish. And why would I want to do that when I can live my own life with my family still? My family to this day don't even know that I'm dead, and neither does Damien, but for the rest of his life he will look at me and know of his sins. Forever haunted to look over his shoulder, wondering when he will be taken away by the police as I finally decide to speak my truths. So that is my deepest secret. My family think I am still alive. Everyone thinks I'm still alive as I wander upon this earth in my undead form, to never grow old. But until then, until they notice that I haven't changed, I won't speak my truths. I want to be with my family as long as I can, just for a moment longer. This, surprisingly, seems to shock Honest. She stands, just watching him leave out the hole that Tony had made. That was quite the dark secret, and now she was the only other being who knew. They had called the police, telling the police officers of the situation that was going on in Honest Manor, telling them that many of the children from the school are all in there. Oliver's big brother came to the manor, trying to pick up his brother. His best friend Damien also tagged along, but just mostly to making sure that the police officers didn't know that he was the one that sent them there in the first place, of which the kids hadn't, because after all, it was just some stupid dare. No one actually believed it was real. But when the police officers went inside to investigate, they thought the kids were pranking them, because they didn't find a single soul inside. But they soon came to realize they had been telling the truth, as those missing kids' parents called them in as missing. They locked up Honest Manor. It was now under investigation for the disappearances of many children. Oliver, Lisa, and Tony quickly came to understand that they were the only ones to have ever made it out. I'm not exactly sure why I'm the one that always gets stuck with these strange cases. I couldn't even find any evidence that the kids were even in that manor. No blood, no hair, no signs of abduction, no signs of struggle, nothing. Just a lot of empty rooms. What my case file mentions is that the kids had said that the rooms had a lot of modern technology in it, such as Xboxes, beanie bags, and modern toys. I didn't find anything of the like. All the rooms were completely empty. And now a new mystery has revealed its ugly head. I have been called in to also locate the missing daughter of the mayor of Stonewell. Last location, the manor. But it seems to me that this town has lots to hide. So it seems like I'm going to be sticking around for a while. And there we have it. I hope you enjoyed this story. And if you did, why don't you give us a like, leave a comment down below of your theories and thoughts. Subscribe and hit that bell icon to stay notified of any more stories. I am your host, Thessalmere, and I hope you all have a nice night, morning, evening.